Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make Campfire Stromboli, and you can make this at home too, but we make this as a tradition whenever we go camping, and it's a way for me to kind of make some Pennsylvania cooking out here in the Pacific Northwest where I've lived for over 25 years. So Stromboli, despite what some people think, was not invented in Italy. It was invented near Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I was born and raised in that area, and it's kind of a great way for people in Pennsylvania to utilize some amazing cured meats. So your typical Pennsylvania style Stromboli, because you'll see Stromboli all over the world nowadays, but a lot of people look at Stromboli like calzone, and it's not really that. It is it's made with dough. I usually use a pizza dough, but then the normal ingredients inside Stromboli is like a little bit of pizza sauce or spaghetti sauce or marinara, and then you have your pepperoni, you got your ham, you got your salami. Salami gives it its distinct Stromboli flavor. And then I usually use some provolone and mozzarella. That's what it's made out of. So I'm going to show you how to make that real quick. First thing you're going to want to do is prepare the dough so you can make the Stromboli filling. Alright, so I stretched this pretty wide. I mean, it's pretty big. You want it to be fairly large because you have a lot of ingredients to go on this. And what I do is I stretch it. I don't necessarily like roll it or anything like that. I get it to room temperature and I stretch it. And it just kind of, you let the gravity of the dough stretch it out. You got to watch that you don't get it too thin in certain areas, but you want it to be as thin as possible. See, you can even see a little of the pattern of this counter through this. That's pretty thin, and that means it'll bake quicker. So the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put your ingredients down, and there's not necessarily any kind of order you have to do this, but what I do just for convenience is I'll put some sauce down first, then I'll put the cheese down, and then I'll put the meat down in different layers, and that makes it so you can roll this up, because you're not going to be folding it over like a calzone. You're going to be rolling it up like a pepperoni bread or a Stromboli. So that's basically what you're going to be doing with the next part. Like I said, the first step, what I do is I put a little sauce down. I'm not making pizza. I'm making Stromboli. So all I'm doing is a light kind of flavoring of tomato sauce. You're not making pizza. So what I do is I spread it out gingerly, and then I'll just kind of spread it out. You just want to get a little bit of flavoring, but you're not making it sauce heavy. I mean, unless you want to. You can do that too. You don't have to use any of these ingredients if you don't want to. I'm just showing you kind of what a traditional Stromboli is in Pennsylvania, and this is something I'm proud of, and I think you're going to really like the flavor profile of this. So just give it a chance. Maybe try your first one like this, unless you really hate one of these ingredients. Okay, the next thing you do is you're going to put some cheese down. Whoops. I cut some mozzarella not very thin because I'm camping and it's not the most ideal situation. Now I'm going to put some provolone down. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to be rolling it all up. So if you have a little bit of bleed over, that's fine. You just want to kind of make sure you cover most of it. So that, it's cheese, so it'll melt. Don't worry. Don't overthink this. I am not a laser accurate kind of chef. Okay, my next layer is usually some ham, and we get some really good fresh off the bone ham at the the deli counter, but you can use anything. Just use any ham. This ham turns out really good. But, you know, just lay it out. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, it's going to be rolling up, so you might have some doubling up some here and there, and you might have not enough in one area, but it's no big deal. Don't worry about it. See? Kind of like that. That's pretty good. Next thing I'll do is, I guess, the salami. Some people don't like salami because it's a very distinct flavor, but it's one of the flavors in the profile that makes an authentic Stromboli. So I recommend it because, to me, whenever I've had Stromboli out in the West Coast here, it never had salami, and that is one of the distinct flavors that you gotta have for real Stromboli. It's not calzone, it's Stromboli. So do this, kind of like this. Like I said, it's not laser guided, it's not perfect. I'm probably not going to do this right because I'm doing it holding it with one hand, but this is how YouTube videos are made sometimes when you're camping, and this is pretty much how all of my YouTube videos are made, because I am a very low rent production house. I guarantee you though, you're gonna like this. If you like this kind of food, you're gonna like this. Right, since I started making my own pizzas in a pizza oven, I started cutting my own pepperoni from these sticks because it's the absolute best flavoring for pepperoni. So I cut some pepperoni here, and I'm gonna throw these out. I try to cut them as thin as I can. Once again, I'm camping, so it's not like I have a mandolin or anything. So I cut it as thin as I can. Remember, the thinner that you have your ingredients, the quicker they'll cook on the fire or on the grill or whatever you're making this on. Because you can make this on just about any cooking surface. I'm just showing you while I'm cooking. While I'm camping, sorry. You can do this in your oven. You don't have to do this on a camp stove or on a campfire. You can make this at home pretty easily. And then so you just lay that out like that. It looks like a pizza, doesn't it? But then I'll show you why there's a difference. Is it started?
Yeah, it started.
Okay, so my son Lucas is helping me record this because I can't do this with one hand. So what you do is you just kind of start rolling this up. You just start rolling it. It's gonna look like a big just loaf of bread, but it's the best loaf of bread you've ever eaten. So you just start rolling it up. Take your time. Don't hurry on it. And when you get to the end here, you're going to pull this back like this. And then you're going to tuck these guys under like this. Tuck it under. Tuck it under like this. Okay? Still recording?
Yep.
Okay, so then you're going to get yourself some aluminum foil because I'm making it on a campfire. Get yourself a sheet of this. And you're going to take a little of this spray pan, or you can take some oil, cooking oil or whatever. And you're going to spray this because you don't want it to stick to this because it makes it really hard for this to come off once it's done. Then you're just going to roll this over onto this, like that. Then you're going to spray this. And this is just going to make it so it comes off of the aluminum foil. Then you're going to go like this, and just roll it around like this. Then you're going to tuck this under here, like this. And tuck this under like this. Just like that. Then you're going to take this over to your fire. You're going to put it over the fire. Or on the oven or the stove or whatever. Just gonna let it cook for a while. And I will show you, you're gonna have to keep moving it around. You don't want it to stay in the same place too long. You don't want your fire too hot. You want it just hot enough so it'll bake this thing. And you're gonna bake it for like 15-20 minutes. And you keep rotating around so everything's nice and hot on either side. And stuff might come out of it, but that's okay. So you're gonna just keep flipping this, and it'll get more and more rigid as it cooks. But at the beginning it's really floppy, so you have to just keep moving it around and making sure it's getting cooked. Once you pull it off the fire there, or the stove, this is what it'll look like. And you're gonna just slice it. And a lot of Pennsylvanians will eat their Stromboli with mustard, some just yellow mustard. Then it's really good. Or else, you can eat it with marinara too, or plain. But maybe try it with a little mustard and be authentic. Enjoy.